All right, so picking up where I left off, just a reminder, yes, this is Halloween and this is a bit of the music, but please go and buy this music. I don't own this music. It's written by Danny Elfman and also arranged by James Kazik. So please, you can buy this on JW Pepper if you know that website, if you're into orchestra music, or somewhere else online, but make sure you're purchasing this music, not just using it off this video. All right. Okay, so that being said, when I was talking to you guys last video, we were just playing this little passage here from 31. And I was stressing to you the importance of making sure that you're getting to each of these accidentals, especially the way that they change between measures. So you'd really want to practice stopping and practicing those transitions from measure to measure. So I'd play one measure, stop on the first note of the next measure to make sure I'm getting to that new correct note. So from 29, you have A flat, A natural, still to an F natural, be careful, then you go to a D. So I'd play and stop, and I'd make sure I do that a couple times so I know I have it. Then I try doing this one, making sure I can get to that B flat without hesitation, okay? You wanna make sure you get to the downbeat of every measure on the measure, okay? And then you practice the next one from 31 to 32. Stopping on that G sharp, which is really important, and then going on and playing from that G sharp, okay? So from there, you have G sharp. You could play open A here, so because you're going to that B, but be careful, after that B, you go back to another G sharp, right? Also be careful of that rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4. Okay, we've played it a couple different ways. Just make sure, again, you're always counting in your head. You can't take the rhythm for granted just because you think you know what it is, all right? The next measure, again, you're going to a G sharp. This time I would use fourth finger because you're staying on D string for another G sharp. D sharp, we're gonna play with low 1 to a high 3 G sharp. You could also play 1 low 4 if you want to, okay? If you'd rather not stretch that much. But I personally always go for 3 for some reason. Right, maybe it's a little out of tune. Maybe you want to try 4. Right, could be better. Then you go to a 1 on the next string. I would go to a high 4 here instead of a low 1 because you're thinking A sharp. You might want to be stretching. I know that we can play a lot of these notes with their enharmonic equivalent fingering. So for instance, A sharp and B flat. When we play B flat, we generally, on the A string, play it with low first finger. But when we're playing A sharp, we could play it with low first finger, depending on how it makes sense, or high 4, right? So maybe in this case, since you're going to a G sharp and you're already having to stretch, it might make more sense for you to stretch rather than go from a lower position. So you have, and then you have the next measure, 1 E and 2 E and a 3 and 4. They even give you a little break here so you can practice that down bow, stressing, it kind of helps you feel that downbeat of the next, right, set of 16ths. And this time you're going from a G sharp to an A natural. So this is what I mean by so many different accidentals. You've got to be careful. You can't just put your blinders on and go, no matter how much you think you know this song, right? You've got to pay attention to these accidentals and these tricky fingerings. So practice organized. I keep telling you, don't just play random notes because that's not going to help you. You have to really think and practice measure by measure. You might look at this and it might not look too hard at first, but really these accidentals can be challenging paired with the rhythms. Okay, so again, you have, this is measure 37. 1 E and 2 E and a. Okay. And be careful because that is the C sharp. All right. Gets trickier and trickier. At measure 38, you have C naturals. 1 E and 2 E and. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and a 4 E and. Again, be careful. Then 1 and a 2 E and a. Right? 3 and 4 and. Then to a D flat, which is the same thing as C sharp. So we're playing with a low 3, 1 and a 2 E and. Making sure that D flat to C natural is a half step. Da da dum. Back to a D flat, 3 E and a 4 E and. Then you go to a C sharp. I would replace that low 3 with a 2 because now you're thinking of it as C sharp, G sharp, low 1, D sharp, low 1. Tricky, tricky, tricky. So just even from measure 37, right? You have I would even have to replay that, right? Because I messed up somewhere. I don't even know where it was. Let me try that one more time from 37. 1 and 2 and 4. Yeah. So again, if you don't count all the way through, you really don't have a prayer. I messed up the first time. I'd really have to go back and make sure that I'm playing that right. Okay. Again, don't take it for granted just because it might look a little bit easy. All right. Then you go to a D flat, right? Again, here, D flat. Half step to D flat to C natural. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 E N. Then C sharp. 1. Sorry, 1 E N. Again, A sharp, I'd play with low 1 in this case, and then D sharp with high 3. Then to an F natural on the E string. Lower for D flat. Then you have those 16th notes again, except this time you have to shift. So I'd play 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. And rather than even practicing this part, I would just practice the second half. You can do however you need to practice it. You can play them multiple times. Then by 3, then by 2, then by 1. Right? However you need to practice it, but make sure you're practicing it. And then you have to practice that transition. Right? Making sure you're adding a note every time so you can play it. And then I'd stay in third position. And then make sure that's an F sharp. So the fingering at 47, if you're in third position, is 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 4, 3 next to 4, 1, 4. If you're playing the upper octave, I'd go into fifth position and play with second finger, right? And hopefully the people playing the lower octave aren't shy and are actually playing it out for you, right? So you have in fifth position, you're going to be playing with second finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. That's going to be first finger. Third finger, then back to 2. Yeah, so we clip that third beat. So you get a longer fourth beat. So from the 2, 4, you should have 1, 2. Fifth. Be careful with that going into 4, and then you have quarter notes. So if you have 47, you have 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 E and 2, and a 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. You saw how I wanted to play it double time, right? So again, from 47. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1 and 2, and 1, 2. And you hold it out, okay? So that's all of This Is Halloween. It is tricky, okay? It even throws me for a loop. I know it doesn't help when you have the music so small on your screen, but print it out, mark in fingerings, draw attention to the things that you know you might slip up on, and just make sure that you can really practice all of these, practice the transitions so you can play the measures one after another without mistakes, okay? I would personally need to go and look at it another time just so I can make sure I, find all those transitions, the rhythms, and also making sure you're not playing it how you think it's going to sound, but how it actually is. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, good luck.